many different styles of homes to consider. The home we're in right now, Salee Homes Laurelwood, is a two-story, meaning the main floor is all everyday living, while the second story is all of your bedrooms, including the master. There are homes where the master bedroom's on the main floor and the secondary bedrooms are up, or where all the bedrooms and living space are all on one floor. It just kind of depends on how you like to do your day-to-day living. Some people who don't like stairs or think they may have mobility issues down the road and are planning to keep the home for a long time like to have the master bedroom on the main floor. Others, people with kids, like the two-story because the bedrooms tend to be a little larger when you have the entire upstairs to work with. Also, generally speaking, two stories are less expensive to build. Believe it or not, it's cheaper to build up than out. If you're thinking of doing some modifications to the second floor after moving in, for instance adding more electrical or water lines for a bar or something like that, it's a lot easier with an unfinished basement. Once you've got drywall up, yeah, you can add those things, but it's a lot harder to work around. This is a new home, so there's not a whole lot to look at. It's a poured concrete foundation with a concrete floor. But in older homes, an unfinished basement gives an inspector great access to check out the structure. It's a great way to look inside the home. You're literally looking at the house from underneath. So if you're thinking of doing some stuff on the second floor after moving in, you might want to consider leaving the basement unfinished until you've made everything upstairs how you want it. Then, you have the freedom to do whatever you want in the lower level. But make sure you remember where you put access points to wiring and water. That way if something goes wrong, you can get in there quickly and fix the problem. Standing next to some old paint cans. These are the paints and stains that were used in the building of the home. Now they may look like trash right now, but it's actually really helpful to have these here. Because if you ever need to do touch-up, you can take the paint codes off of these buckets and go to the paint store and find matching paint. Now, I will say that after about a year or so, the paint does degrade. But you can still pull the codes off of these buckets and still match the paint. So it's not a bad idea to leave these around. Though if it does get to be more than about a year old, make sure you properly dispose of the paint and record the codes somewhere on a sheet of paper, or if you can get the labels off of the buckets, put them in a folder somewhere. When looking at a new home, you'll want to consider the bedroom level of the home. In this case, we're in a two-story. All the secondary bedrooms are upstairs. Some parents with young kids like to have their master bedroom in close proximity to the secondary bedrooms. For instance, if they're getting up in the middle of the night to feed a baby or change a diaper, they don't want to be too far away. A lot of the builders at Stonebridge Trails put the laundry room on the second floor. So we have a lot of two stories where all the bedrooms are upstairs, and it makes sense to have your laundry room where your laundry is. But some people do prefer to have it on the main floor. Just another thing to consider when you're shopping for your home. Another consideration while searching for your new home is the master bedroom. Some people prefer a neat and clean, tidy look where they don't have a lot of furniture out in the bedroom itself. For people who have bigger, bulkier furniture like big chests of drawers and dressers and things like a sleigh bed or things like that, you'll want a bigger space. But for people who like to keep things out of the way, you'll want to consider a master bedroom with a larger closet. That way all the clothes and everything can be put away and you can keep the room itself nice and tidy. When thinking about the features that are important to you in a new home, there are some that are easy to add later, and there are some that are best put in the home from the very beginning. For instance, if you ever wanted to change to a tile floor like this one in this master bath, that's not a terribly hard renovation. But if you ever want to change the layout or expand it or add a tub or something like that, that's a bit more extensive. It can be done, but it gets pretty pricey. Well, those are just a few things to consider when looking at a home. They cover very general and broad topics, and every home's different. You'll want to look closely at it, and probably a couple of times before deciding on purchasing it. It's also helpful to consult with a real estate agent, like myself, when you're purchasing a home. If you have any questions about your home search or anything at Stonebridge Trails, feel free to give me a call, 913-558-1182.